Welcome to ABC Interactive English. Hello, everyone. I'm Mike.
And I'm Captain Winnie.
Wow, you're a superhero. What do you do in your free time when you're not saving the planet, Captain Winnie?
I take super naps.
Super naps?
Yeah, other people, they take power naps. I take super naps.
I can't actually remember a superhero sleeping.
That's true.
You don't really see them just lying in bed, reading a book, getting up and go, oh, what a terrible night.
See, that's the part they don't show you.
Yeah, so a super nap sounds like a super good idea. And, of course, yesterday we learned about some of these superheroes and what they do in their free time. We could also say what superheroes do for their hobbies, right? What hobbies they have.
Or on their downtime.
On their downtime. These, of course, are things you do when you're not working, going to school, or saving the planet. Superman likes to play chess with a robot, and he also writes in his mental diary using his heat vision. That was pretty cool.
Thank you, thank you. And then Wonder Woman, of course, you know, she's got to put her athletic body to use.
Right.
And of course, she plays hockey, baseball, tennis. And that's probably just to name a few.
That's exactly right. And she encourages people to exercise more. I remember another lady who used to do that, Michelle Obama.
Oh, that's true. Look at her arms.
Are they the same person?
You've never seen Michelle Obama and Wonder Woman in the same room.
I haven't, and I think Michelle Obama has an invisible plane. Maybe that's just my imagination.
Yeah.
All right, so already we know that superheroes do have free time. They do other stuff. And some of the stuff they do, we do too, when we can. So let's go on with this very interesting and slightly weird idea and find out what superheroes do when they're off the clock and not saving the planet or working as a reporter or doing other stuff.
Like Superman, Captain America draws and paints in his free time. He developed the skill during his childhood. Later, he went to school to become an artist. Spider-Man is also into art. He likes taking photos, and his subject of choice is himself. However, he can't do that all day long. He's still a student and has homework to do.
What superheroes do in their free time, guys. It's part 2, so we're going to continue on with this and discover the inner lives, the sort of personal time of some of our favorite superheroes. Yesterday, it was more DC, right? We had Superman, we had Wonder Woman. Today, we're going to move over to more of the Marvel-type characters, for those of you who follow this type of thing. And the first one we're going to look at is, yeah, he's an interesting guy, popular guy, but I can't really imagine him in his free time, so I'm curious to find out.
Now we're in our territory, the Marvel universe.
Okay, yeah, we know a bit more about this, right? Yeah.
Okay, so let's continue on. Like Superman, Captain America draws and paints in his free time.
What? He draws and paints?
Okay, hear me out. Captain America wasn't always the big, buff Chris Evans of it all.
Right.
He was kind of a scrappy young guy from New York.
Yeah.
And if you can't lift weights, you can lift a pencil.
I thought he always wanted to be a soldier, though. That was like his thing, helping people, helping the country, fighting, you know, Nazis or whatever.
Maybe he was drawing out his plans.
It could be, but it's nice to know that someone who seems so focused on action and doing stuff actually has an artistic soul.
Right.
So he stays at home on the weekends when it's raining and he paints flowers or draws pictures of fruit or something like that. And as it says, he developed this skill quite young.
Yes, so he developed this skill during his childhood.
You're right. So when he wasn't getting beaten up, he was drawing pictures.
Right, so he's just as right-brained as he is left-brained.
Interesting. He's a Renaissance man.
Yes, and of course, we have this word childhood, which I think everyone knows the word, because we're talking about a time when you were a child or a kid. So when he was a child, of course, he wasn't beating people up or beating his bullies up. He was developing his skills in the arts.
Very, very cool. So yeah, your childhood is from, when you're just past being a baby. I mean, I guess you could call that being in your childhood, but generally it might be 4 or 5 years old up to 16, 17, 18 when you become an adult or an adult. So there you go. When he was a kid, he learned how to draw and paint and do art, and that's something that really went with him through his life. In fact, it was quite a serious thing. It says later he went to school to become an artist.
I did not know that.
I didn't either. So he went to an art school. That's the kind of place you would go if you want to be an artist. And now when we say artist, often, yes, we think of people who paint or draw pictures as a job. They sell them. Maybe they're very famous, or maybe they just draw pictures for people who want specific things. But we can also use artist for anyone who does art. So if you're an actor or a musician, if you're a dancer, you could call yourself an artist. But often when we use this word, we are talking about artists who do painting and drawing and that kind of art.
Hi, I'm Tina. 我们来看一下刚刚课文里提到的单字。第一个 childhood 名词童年时期。Judy's childhood was filled with happy memories. Judy 的童年充满了快乐的回忆。下一个单字 artist 名词画家艺术家。Dan is a talented artist. Dan 是一位有才华的艺术家。Talented 指的就是有才华的。接着我们回到课文当中。
And of course, we have to talk about, well, actually, it's funny because Captain America was always my favorite.
Okay, he's very handsome.
And then Tom Holland's Spider-Man came into the picture. I love Tobey Maguire.
Yeah.
Love Andrew Garfield.
Okay.
But you just can't top this Tom Holland Spider-Man.
He is pretty charming. That's true.
But speaking of him, we are talking about Spider-Man and what he does. So,
what does he do?
Yes, Spider-Man is also into art.
Really?
He likes taking photos.
Oh, that's right.
And his subject of choice is himself.
Huh? He takes selfies?
I guess.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, but that is a kind of art, so we could call him an artist as well.
That's true.
But we might also call him a photographer. Yeah, that's right. He was taking pictures for the school newspaper, and then he was selling them to J. Jonah Jameson. So he's always liked the camera and capturing things with that.
And that takes a lot of the day.
True.
Yeah. So we have this word subject, and we're talking about, this is just a topic of interest or discussion, or you could say in school you have a favorite subject like math, science, art, and I guess, well, it depends on which Spider-Man you're talking about, because in actually a few of them, he was pretty good at science.
Oh, that's true.
Right? But then in the first one, he's very good at like photography.
Okay.
So, different universe Spider-Men have different favorite subjects.
Oh, interesting. And of course, the subject can also, for an artist, be what they are taking a picture of. Okay? So if we're talking about a famous painting like the Mona Lisa, the subject of that painting is this Italian lady. Her husband or someone paid for the painting. That's the subject. If you're sitting out there near the beach and you're painting a cliff and the sand and the ocean, that's your subject. If you're at the zoo, you might be taking pictures of the elephants or the pandas. Those would be your subject, the thing that you are taking a picture or capturing in some kind of art. So there you go. So I guess, yes, his Instagram is filled with pictures of him looking cool, taking pictures of him. However, it says he can't do that all day long. No, that you don't want to be taking pictures of yourself all day long. He's still a student and has homework to do.
Maybe he uses his webs to kind of put cameras everywhere.
Ooh.
And then he can just kind of leave it alone because he's swinging by anyway.
That's true.
刚刚课文里提到这个单字 subject 名词主角主题。The subject of the story is friendship. 这个故事的主题是友谊。文法的部分呢，刚刚提到了这个短语，名词加上 of choice 什么的首选。我们来看看这个例句 Pizza is often my food of choice for dinner. 披萨经常是我晚餐的首选。接着我们回到课文当中。
I think I've seen him do that.
Yeah.
He'll put the camera up there and then go fight the bad guy, take pictures, and then sell them.
Yeah.
He's a clever guy.
He's a clever guy.
Besides art, Batman loves reading and music. What's more, he has a talent for playing the piano. It helps him deal with his double life and his fear of bats.
All right, we are back. So we just learned that Spider-Man loves to take pictures with his camera, and in that way, he's quite similar to his good Marvel friend Captain America. He doesn't use a camera, he uses paints or drawing to capture his subjects. They both love art. They both love making beautiful pictures for people to look at. All right, well now let's go back over to the DC world and find out about one of everyone's favorite superheroes, one that's certainly known by most people, good old Batman. Now he's kind of like Iron Man, he's really, really rich.
That's the real superpower.
So I imagine he's doing really, really rich guy stuff. So, I'm gonna guess racing cars.
Okay.
He likes racing.
He has
like
a Batmobile,
racing.
right?
Yeah.
So, okay.
I'm guessing that kind of thing.
Okay, he's Batman. Anyway,
Exactly.
besides,
These are my hobbies.
besides art, Batman loves reading and music.
Oh, okay. Well, he's got a huge library in his huge house.
Yeah, and he
Guess
can
that makes
always
sense.
get, the latest books and latest CDs. So that makes sense.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's true. He probably likes reading Harry Potter.
Ooh, really nice.
Yeah. All right, what's more, it says, so he likes reading and music. These are kind of quiet, peaceful, solo, right? Things you do on your own, possibly. But what's more, it says, or in addition also, he has a talent for playing the piano.
That's kind of a rich guy thing.
That's kind of a rich guy thing. It's also a cool thing to be able to do. If you can sit down at a piano and play a nice song for people, that's very impressive.
Hey, that's how you win a lady's heart.
That is a nice way to win a lady's heart, and also nice to have a piano in your library
that's true.
or in your giant house. And apparently he's quite good at it because, as it said there, he has a talent for playing the piano. If you have a talent for something, usually with an ing, like a talent for singing or a talent for cooking or something like that, that just means you're good at it. You probably have a natural ability to do it. Maybe you took lessons and learned a lot as well, but is this something that you seem to be quite good at that other people might not be so skilled or so talented? So good for him.
Well, he grew up rich, so he probably had lessons.
I'm sure he did.
So he is good. Whereas I can't say that I have a talent for playing the piano because when I play the piano, it sounds like a cat falling down the stairs with a trombone.
Okay.
Anyway, continuing on, it helps him deal with his double life and his fear of bats. A lot to unpack there. First of all, we know that all of these superheroes, they have one thing in common. They live a double life.
Oh, okay. Oh, I was going to say something else.
Yeah. But so they are, kind of hiding their identity.
Sure, yeah, most of them are.
Yeah, but that's a lot of pressure. You can't fully be honest as yourself. You can't tell people, hey, I'm Clark Kent, but I'm also Superman. First of all, no one's going to believe you. And also, you're just hiding this secret all by yourself.
That's true. And if the secret comes out, it could be bad for you.
Yeah.
Right?
Or your loved ones.
That's true.
And so here we're talking about Batman who has a fear of bats. So a fear of bats means he is afraid of bats. He has a fear of something. He is afraid of something. And you would think Batman, I don't know, when I hear that, it's like he's ruler of the bats or something. Like he can go, bats, attack that robber.
Exactly. Superman doesn't have a fear of being super.
That's a good point.
All right, let's get back to this article because we have this word bat to talk about. Because, of course, when we say Batman, that's the character, that's the animal he kind of copies or models himself on. And bats are real animals, as I'm sure you know. It's basically a little flying mouse. Bats are mammals. They can fly, but they're also covered in fur. They have live babies. They're warm-blooded, just like we are. They often have an amazing ability to sort of see in the dark using clicks and noises noises, and you can often see bats flying around. In the evening time, they're picking up insects. They're great at eating mosquitoes. They might look a little scary. They might seem a little scary, but really just think of bats as friendly little flying mice that clean up a lot of the nasty insects.
我们来看一下刚刚课文里提到的单字 bat 名词，蝙蝠。A bat flew out of the cave. 一只蝙蝠从洞穴里飞出来。Cave 指的就是洞穴。文法的部分呢，刚刚提到了这两个短语。第一个 a talent for VING 做某事的天赋。Talent 指的是天分、天赋。我们来看看这个例句。Ian has a talent for playing tennis. Ian 有打网球的天分。下一个文法 a fear of something 对某事物的恐惧。Fear 在这里是名词，意思是害怕、恐惧。我们来看看这个例句。My sister has a fear of spiders. 我妹妹对蜘蛛有恐惧。接着我们回到课文当中。
But then there you go, superheroes. They are like us, but they're also really, really not like us.
Yeah.
I think that's a good lesson to take away today.
That is.
All right, we have one more day of this, so who are we going to learn about next, and what amazing and interesting hobbies will some of our favorite superheroes have? Come back tomorrow to find out.
See you in part 3.
Like Superman, Captain America draws and paints in his free time. He developed the skill during his childhood. Later, he went to school to become an artist. Spider-Man is also into art. He likes taking photos, and his subject of choice is himself. However, he can't do that all day long. He's still a student and has homework to do. Besides art, Batman loves reading and music. What's more, he has a talent for playing the piano. It helps him deal with his double life and his fear of bats.
我们来复习一下这一课的重点单字跟文法。单字的部分 childhood 名词童年、童年时期 artist 名词画家、艺术家 subject 名词主角、主题 bat 名词蝙蝠。接着我们来看文法的部分。名词加上 of choice 什么的首选。When Kyle goes to a KTV, his song of choice is American Pie. Kyle 去 KTV 时最喜欢点美国派来唱。A talent for 加上 VING 做某事的天赋。Stacy has a talent for cooking. Stacy 有烹饪的天分。A fear of something 对某事物的恐惧。Many people have a fear of failure. 很多人害怕失败。好啦，以上是今天的重点单字跟文法，那我们下次再见喽，拜拜。
Here you go. There's something missing from our plate. I forgot the eggs. How do you usually like your eggs? Oh, I don't know. There are so many ways to cook eggs. I like them all. Well, I usually go for a sunny side up. Okay? Okay, be right back. The first type of egg we have are boiled eggs. Right, our first one that we are going to talk about is our soft boiled egg. And our egg yolks can be anywhere from a runny or a jammy yolk, but today we went with a fluffier yolk, so it's very soft. Then we have the hard-boiled egg, where you'll cook the egg for longer, and sometimes you'll cook it well done so that the egg yolk becomes more firm, and some people, they like to eat it this way. Our next category is fried eggs. Our first one is a sunny side up. It's only cooked on one side, and as you can tell, it looks like the sun. The next one is an over easy. You cook it on both sides, but the egg yolk is still runny. Similar to that, we have our over medium with a very jammy center. And last but not least, we have our over hard with a very firm egg yolk. It's cooked the longest. Now we have our scrambled eggs, and that is when you take egg whites and egg yolks and mix it together before frying it.
And today we have soft scrambled eggs, which we can see the egg is still a little more wet. It's not cooked as long. Then we have our hard scrambled egg, which is cooked a lot longer, so the egg is more firm and also dry. Today we learned how to cook egg in so many different types of ways.
We have boiled eggs, scrambled eggs, and fried.
We also learned about the different parts of the egg. For example, the yellow runny thing in the middle of the egg is called an egg yolk.
Right, and the outer part, which is sometimes see-through, is called an egg white.
We also learned how to cook egg yolk in lots of different consistencies.
Right, we have runny, jammy, and well done.
But there's still one question. What kind of egg are we gonna eat for breakfast?